Con artists of Reddit, what is the most successful scam you have pulled? I once scammed a stupid American out of millions of dollars. Yours truly, Prince Alusi Slasses of Nigeria. Back in the 80s, when Ireland started being on people's radar a bit more, because U2 and Boomtown Rats maybe, and there were very few Irish backpackers compared to now, this is in Australia, I would score massive amounts of free booze in faux Irish pubs by pretending to be from the Emerald Isle. I was in the restroom of one using the urinal, when a drunk guy came up next to me and asked if I was having a good day. For some reason my subconscious decided to answer in an Irish accent. He was excited to meet an actual Irish person in a fake Irish pub, where there were never any Irish, not even the staff, and invited me back to his table to meet his friends. I didn't have to buy a round all night. I kind of forgot about it for a few months until I again found myself in another Bridie O'Reilly's, and a pretty girl pulled up next to me at the bar and said hello. One hello my darling later and I was drinking for free again. The act became perfected over time. You had to give the audience what they wanted. Many wanted a dangerous Irishman. Maybe someone who had been peripherally involved in the troubles. For those I would refuse to say if I was Protestant or Catholic and would be vague about surname and employment. I'd also get evasive if asked about the scar above my eyebrow. For others I would admit to being Catholic and maybe tear up if asked about my hometown. One time a girl told me she'd been to Londonderry and I corrected her hotly, that's just fucking Derry. Thanks very much. I have no idea if that's actually a thing. So every few months I'd do this. For years. After maybe a decade of it, I was sitting in a non-Irish pub with a new friend. Something about Ireland came up and I started to tell the story when he calls bullet on me. I turned to the booth behind me, interrupted the girls talking there and said hello darlings. Are ye having a good time tonight? After they replied in the positive I introduced myself as Dylan and my friend as Murphy. Did I know if he could do an Irish accent? Nope. We quickly moved to their booth and had our drinks bought for us for the next few hours. On the way home, my still shell-shocked friend and I wander past a house party with door security and I stop and ask the guy if it's a private party. He says it is. But nobody can resist my fake Irish charms. So after a few minutes we're inside. The highlight of the next few hours, free drinks, kissing the birthday girl, forgetting which one of us is supposed to be Dylan and which one is Murphy, the live musical act composing a song about everyone's two new Irish friends and me stealing a slab of beer, that's 2 dozen, at the end of the night. That was the last time I did it, because I wanted to go out on a high. The only downside, the first few drinks I was offered were always Guinness, which I ducking hate. But after a couple I would say I'd like to try some local beers. TLDR. Faked being Irish. Scored hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars of free drinks. Entertained young people. Edit. Misplaced dash. Edit. Clarity about nationality. Edit. Wire. Third day on Reddit. Second post and I'm gilded. You people are great. I was in the 2nd grade. I had horrible eyesight but didn't know that. My desk was at the back of the class where I couldn't see jacket on the board in the front. So I did badly in school. My teacher had a token system for giving out extra goodies to kids who finished assignments or did other good boy good girl things. The tokens were these pink computer punch cards roughly cut into squares. But I never got tokens because I sucked at being teacher's pet back then. So coming in from recess one day, I am walking in line like a good sheep into the classroom, and I notice a stack of these pink punch cards on the counter in the back of the room where I sat. I sneakily grab a bunch and as the teacher read MR Popper's Pequins to us, I sat at my desk with my crappy scissors cutting those pink cards into little squares. Now, my teacher did not exactly track who she gave tokens to or how many she gave. I just went up to her a few times a week after that with my counterfeit tokens and got candy and puzzle time and a bunch of other stuff. It was nice and I never got caught. Edit. So, I've since gotten LASIK surgery so no need to follow a life of crime over poor eyesight. I once convinced this girl to start dating me. Haven't figured out what to do next. This was totally a friend of mine, not me. Managed to get a cut off the local weed dealer's monthly profits by selling him small vials of a special fertilizer that he, my friend, could get from a special connection. Every month he'd get about $200 just by giving him a sealed package with a few vials, one for each vase. It came with instructions. 3 drops per day. The drug dealer was ecstatic with how much faster the plants were growing, and how much better the weed was, and had no problem in giving him a part of the profit. It was just apple vinegar. This went on for half a year before the guy went in. He never knew the truth. TLDR. Friend buys 10 small vials from eBay every month for $2 or $3, fills them with apple vinegar, and gets around $195 of profit every month. Edit. I suck at English. So I have this great scam going. I get dressed nice, drive to this building, walk into the building and sit down at a desk, tap away at a computer while smiling at all the people I'm scamming. I will do this for about 8 hours every weekday. Then I just walk out the front door and go home. Best part is the suckers just put money directly into my bank account every 2 weeks. Back in 2002 I pretended I got hacked so somebody would give me a jeb. I sold it for 200,000 near points. Back in college we would occasionally have parties where we sold shots to make some extra cash. This one particular night I was on bar duty and the hard stuff was running low. In a panic I ran into the kitchen and found this pre-mixed alcohol in the fridge. I started selling shots to people, and it proved to be really popular. So popular that I gave it a name, Woodpecker, and started raising the price to keep it from disappearing so fast. At one point the shots were hovering around $5.10. The next day we were tallying everything and I mentioned how we made about $80 off this one particular bottle. That's when my roommate started laughing his ass off. It turns out I was selling non-alcoholic whiskey mix. He bought it at the grocery store for about $3.50. Whoops. At a summer concert, a random drunk girl offered me $20 for my freshly refilled 1-liter water bottle. I quickly accepted and vanished into the crowd. I may or may not have my high school diploma, but I definitely have a college degree. I have been going with the line, well, I needed a high school diploma to get into the military, so I must have one. My school's admittance officer has been searching for proof of my high school diploma for about 3 years now. Not me, but a friend. He managed to get a Target uniform and borrowed a Target name tag from his older brother. Then during Black Friday, he came in and during the chaos of the night morning he walked off with a TV and Xbox. We were 18, drove to a gas station, grabbed a 12-pack and brought it to the counter. It was maybe $8-10. When cashier inevitability asked for ID, I tossed $20 on the counter, grabbed beer and hauled us to the still idling car my friend was driving. It was quite the heist. I will trim your armor for $100 K. I didn't have a stamp to mail a thank you letter, so I put the return address as the address I actually wanted to send it to, then walked down the street and put it in my mailbox. It probably wouldn't have worked if it wasn't a local address. I used to rack up Microsoft points by hosting 10th prestige lobbies that didn't exist. RMW2. How I miss thee. For a while when I was 17, I sold used underwear to fetishists on Craigslist. It didn't start off as a con. I did actually try wearing them, but I wasn't, producing a whole lot. So I began using a crusty concoction of tuna oil and mosaic glue. $2 Kmart underwear plus paste equals $80 profit. A video game's worth, a pair. The best bit was receiving congratulatory messages afterwards about the beautiful scent and texture of the fake veal discharge. Whenever I'm sad, I think about slimy old men jacking off into my crusty fish knickers and can't help but give a fond smile. Don't know if this counts as a scam, but I got about $30 from a vending machine. I stuffed some paper towel up there in the morning so that it would catch people's change. They'd go to the cafeteria and be reimbursed, so I didn't feel like I was stealing from my classmates. Just the school. Lunchtime, I took out the paper and it was like winning at a slot machine. I made fake coupons. Anything within a store with a UPC barcode I cold generate a UPC barcode for. This was in college when 4 lockers were insanely popular. I made lots of BOGO free coupons that I sold for those. Anything and everything from cigarettes to Badgelbites to Xbox 360s. The key was printing them no gloss paper to make them look and feel real no matter how ridiculous the discount was. They all scanned and only high priced items got turned down due to suspicious discounts, for example 50% off Xbox 360 and controllers. I even had a Cookit barcode scanner at home that I tested them with. It got to be such a huge thing that it made the local news and then I stopped. You can learn a lot of cool illegal lit on the internet when you're bored during summer break surfing 4chan. I'm a master at forgery. I have all the certificates to prove it. Guy tried to scam me out of $450 for a steering wheel I sold. So I scammed him. Ended up with $450 from him anyways and then sold it to someone else for $250. Also a texting kid rear-ended my car. Really all it really needed was a respray of the bumper cover. He was a pain in the ass the whole time, wanting to pay me under the table and only like $50. I own a body shop, so I just wrote up a ridiculous repair bill including using OEM parts, new bumper beam, cover, expensive paint, tons of labor, new exhaust that he dented too. Sorry, but when you hit someone's car, picking how their car gets repaired is not up to you. Throwaway for obvious reasons. It all started on IMVU. Some of you might know about this site. It's a chat room for teens and adults. You get a little avatar. I had bad luck on this site. I was around 14 and I decided to make a female avatar to trick guys into cybering with me then make fun of them. Well then I learned I kinda liked it. A few years go by and I'm doing it on a different site. This time I'm a 16-year-old girl. And I meet this man who wants to be financially dominated. I figure this is my lucky day and do so, making fun of his D. And he starts buying me it on Amazon and shipping it to my house. Honestly, I don't know how I got away with it, because I gave him my real name, saying it was the girl's boyfriend. He wanted to webcam, but obviously I couldn't do that. I had been photoshopping pictures of random girls to look like this person I was pretending, going so far as to put fake sticky notes with his name on them. Eventually we cut it off, because I was asking for too much money. I retired the girl, and started using a different one. Lo and behold, he messages the new girl. It's insane. And somehow I get him to believe that I'm the original girl's cousin. And we've been having an incestual relationship. He started buying more it for a while. Then we cut it off again. I don't do that anymore. I'll be on for a while to answer any questions. Edit. I'm going to bed. If this blows up I'll answer any other questions after I wake up. I'll probably delete this account tomorrow. Well, I'm not an artist because I haven't pulled any other scams other than this. I know this is a pretty lame and itty thing to do, but years ago I sold a WoW account for like $200. Then reclaimed the account through Blizzard and kept the money. Then I did the exact same thing with the same account again a month later. Told my mom my Geopet died. Got a new Geopet. Had 2 alive Geopets. TBH, this thread is kinda making me angry. I'm too lawful good for this it. I am no con artist, but there was time many years back when I had no choice but to run a con. If I didn't run this con, me and my friend would have never enjoyed as much Taco Bell as we did. I went to a small college in the far north. There was a guy who used to hang at the edge of our group who talked constantly about loving drugs. Hunter etc. There were few drugs around to be had, but we would take a few of the vitamin C's we had in our dorm room and occasionally sell them to Phil for a few buck a pop, claiming they were Vicodin. Then go get Taco Bell. Our master caper was one night we needed a lot of Chinese food. So we ground up all the baby laxative that my roommate had been given by his mother, because his tummy was off, and sold it to Phil as blue sugar as the chopped up pills were blue. That was some great Chinese food and only ran us 40 bucks. Phil later reported he had been up for days on a coke binge. I imagine he was up for at least some reasons. 10/10 would sell Phil drugs again. His immune system rocked and he was regular. Solving crimes with the FBI, often using my art forgery skills. I sold the school fundraiser chocolate bars for $2 a piece, normally $1 each, and ate half a box. Here is a lesson for you youngins. Selling candy in school is lucrative. Take your money and invest it in candy and sell it for like 3 or 4 times the original cost. I had the highest amount of points for my middle school 4AR tests. The answers were hidden in the source HTML on each question. I won a trip to Pizza Hut in a limo at the end of the year, but I was the only one that got enough points to go, so it was a little disappointing. In 11th grade I sold a classmate my PC version of Halo Combat Evolved. He asked me the next day about a registration key and asked if that was because he was using a Dell. I told him yes. Some fool gave me gold for an utterly ludicrous and silly comment. I spend my Reddit career writing dozens, nay, hundreds, of thoughtful, intelligent, compassionate and reasoned responses to many people. Most of these go completely unnoticed. Sometimes it seems I am the only person to read them at all. But then I make one silly fart joke and get gold. This place is like a loony bin for humanity's random thoughts and feelings. A place where reason is drowned in impulse and the slow decay of madness grows huge and red. Reminds me of waiting for the perfect moment to bite into a badly inflamed pustule. I made a bet with someone on who can finish our math homework first. I did it at school an hour before. Easiest $20 of my life. I traded a mithril dagger for a mithril scimitar. Free movies in theaters. In high school, me and a friend realized that theaters will give you a refund for as long as the movie has not started yet, even if the ticket is ripped. We also realized that the person ripping the tickets gave less than zero. It's about their job and would rip a ticket without looking at the movie time. Put these two together and you can go to the theater, buy a ticket for a movie that starts in 3 hours, walk in and get it ripped and go see any movie you wanted. After your movie is done you just go to the counter and make up some excuse for why you can't see the movie. They give you a full refund and you walk out of there with zero money spent. Also, you can get the really nice fancy seats for free.